Hi, I'm Dan, and this is Positively Thriving. In this video, I want to talk to you about the things that are getting in your way, the things that are keeping you from actually having a good relationship with fitness. I work as a personal trainer. I've worked with a lot of different kinds of people, a lot of different environments, but when people come to me looking for help with their fitness, I notice the same kind of problems over and over and over. A lot of these things people aren't even really aware of. So I wanted to take this time to talk about what some of those things are, maybe things that you as an individual could think about to improve your relationship with fitness and have a healthier life. So we have to establish, what do we mean when we're talking about fitness? For me personally, with my clients and in my own fitness practice, it's always putting health at the forefront. Being active every single day, or at least close to it, is going to make your life so much better all around. You're going to live a longer life. As you age, you're going to age healthier, better bone density, better blood flow, better mobility, better mental health through your whole life. And you're mainly going to be able to avoid a lot of injury that would come about if you were completely deconditioned all the time. Meaning you can try new activities, you can get into new stuff, you can explore, you can feel confident in trying new stuff without having to worry about injuring yourself. That for me is real fitness, is being able to engage with cool new stuff with the people that you love and enjoy just being active, being a healthy, active person. So with that as the forefront of what we're focusing on, that doesn't mean that you can't also focus on becoming really good at a particular sport or maybe achieving some certain aesthetic goals. Those things aren't necessarily bad by default, but I think that as long as you keep health as the forefront, you're not going to be sacrificing your health to achieve those other goals, because that's where we run into problems. That's where people start adopting behaviors that aren't sustainable or that might lead to injury, and those are the things we really want to avoid. So let's get into the things that are actually getting in your way of having this kind of relationship with fitness and establishing good, healthy goals. The first thing I want to talk about is athletics. In our culture, we are idolizing athletes. We're looking at people who accomplish amazing feats of athletics and treating them like celebrities. And I don't think that that's undeserved. Those people do amazing things. But I think that it colors how we relate to fitness and activity and how we relate to each other in terms of what we're able to do and not able to do. And I think when the whole focus comes too closely on being really good at one particular thing, you can run into problems. I think we oftentimes, with a lot of things, not just fitness, we don't really accept doing things just because we like to do them. And I think that's a shame. I think people avoid learning new languages or learning new instruments, exploring new skills just because they feel like, well, I'm not very good at it now, or I probably won't be very good at it even if I invest a lot of time. So what's the point? I won't even try. And I think that happens with people with their fitness too. They get this idea that I'm not a fit person, and no matter how much effort I put in, I'm still going to be mediocre, so why even bother? It's okay to be mediocre. It's okay to do things badly. And especially with fitness, there's really no wrong way to do it. Every way that you're moving your body, as long as you're not doing it dangerously, everything is of benefit. Moving your body in any way. I mean, you could literally just stand in place and march for half an hour, and you would be better off than if you didn't do that. So there's really no going wrong as long as you're playing it safe. The second thing I want to talk about is aesthetics. And this is no secret, we've got really messed up ideas of body image in our culture. I think pretty much everybody struggles to some degree with feeling like their body isn't good enough in one way or another. Everybody has something that they want to change about their body, and that's natural. And people who work out to change their physique and they get the results that they're looking for and they're happy and they, feel good about their body because they've put in the work, awesome. I'm not knocking that. That's fine. However, the fitness industry loves to exploit people's insecurities. And we now have a problem where, I myself have fallen victim to this, where we look around and we see these really crazy standards of beauty, standards of what you're supposed to look like to be considered manly or feminine, and then drawing the conclusion from that that we need to be doing this certain kind of activity, more active in this way or that way, and we let that dominate our relationship with fitness, and then we let it dominate our relationship with ourselves so that we don't see our body for what it's doing for us, and we don't appreciate it, and we don't see ourselves as beautiful, normal, happy humans. We see ourselves as failures of not complying, not meeting this standard that's been set for us. And oftentimes that standard is set by people who are either trying to make money or they're trying to make you feel insecure so that you will spend your money and buy stuff from them, right? I mean, either way, it works out for them. It's difficult in this day and age to really trust what you're seeing out there, knowing what's achievable for you if you're not willing to take drugs, if you're not willing to devote your entire life to achieving that physique. Is it really something that you should feel compelled to chase after? And I want you to think about that seriously, because it's okay to want to change your body, maybe get a little bit more muscle definition. It's okay to want to lose weight for your health, to feel more able, more active. I mean, it's definitely true that if you're carrying an extra 30 pounds, it's going to be harder for you to do certain activities. That's all very true. However, health-wise, I think we overblow the significance of being overweight. Having a little extra body fat in itself is not unhealthy. If your lifestyle overall is healthy and you carry a little extra body fat, that's perfectly okay. And I think that we need to focus on doing the things that are healthy for us and not chasing after that aesthetic. I'm a body positive coach. This is a body positive channel. We're all about loving and appreciating the body for what it's doing for us and not letting the mainstream fixation on having a certain shape be the defining factor in the value of your body. All right, the final thing I want to talk about, the thing that might be holding you back from being more fit, is the gym. And that might be surprising because the gym is normally where you'd go to get more fit. But gyms are, generally speaking, hyper-masculinized spaces. They are like a bubble where within that bubble, there's a lot of people who value being really big and being really strong. And it's not wrong to be big and strong. Those people deserve a place to have their workouts. That's cool. But it's definitely that the entire gym industry is geared towards serving those people, providing a space for those people, or at least they're providing a space and those people gravitate to it. So when you have a gym that's hyper-masculinized, it isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it can be a bad thing if you are not a hyper-masculine person. If you're not kind of buying into that idea that those things are valuable, you walk into that space and you don't feel your own values represented. I have felt that way at times in my life. I'm not a hyper-masculine person. I'm hardly a masculine person to begin with. So for me, walking into that kind of space feels like, all right, this isn't really my jam. This isn't really where I feel like I can just be me with confidence. And generally, when you go online for advice on what to do, I don't feel comfortable in my gym, people generally just say, get over it. Nobody cares what you're doing. Whether or not that's true, the environment gives that vibe of you not being of worth. Because if being big and strong is really important to those people, there's their value system kind of reflected in the values of the environment, and then you don't represent those values, well, then you feel less worthy. You feel like you're not as worthy of taking up space in that environment. And that's, I think, very legitimate. Or on the other side, maybe it's not even that's the problem, but you feel like you're being objectified when you're in your gym. That can be a problem for people as well. If you are feeling that way about your gym, don't let that get in the way of you having a good relationship with fitness, a relationship with your body, especially if you're the kind of person who's like, hey, I don't really think that being the biggest and the strongest is necessarily a good measure of worth. That environment in that gym where those things are of great worth might feel like kind of destabilizing, right? If you're trying to have a healthy body image and you go in there and you're surrounded by guys who are bigger than you, I'm speaking mainly to men who struggle with that kind of idea, that, hegemonic masculine ideal of men being big and strong and muscular. If you go in there and you're seeing guys who all look kind of the same, they're all embracing that ideal, and you don't feel like that represents you, there's a dissonance there. And that's something that can keep people from pursuing a healthy life and being fit. And they might go to other activities that they don't even enjoy as much, or they might have unbalanced fitness because they don't feel comfortable. And even speaking more to women, a lot of my clients are women. I'd say probably 3/4 of them are women. They don't like those spaces because either they feel objectified or they feel like going in that space, doing those kind of things around those people, again, they don't feel as welcome. I mean, anybody on the spectrum in between men and women, especially if you are a trans person, being in that kind of environment can feel very polarized and weird. It kind of pulls you every which way. So that's something that you should consider as a potential barrier to being fit. Find a gym that actually represents your values. If there isn't one, or if you just don't really like gyms in general, you can get a lot done at home. And that brings me to my final point, what I think you need to start doing right now, and that is resistance training of some form. Resistance training doesn't mean just lifting super heavy weights, doing powerlifting, or doing bodybuilding and focusing on aesthetics. Lifting weights can be done for health. It is probably the fastest way to get you from a point of being completely deconditioned to having a good all-around fitness. If you are incorporating moving weights around or even just doing body weight exercises where you are stressing your muscles and working with good form, that is the stuff that's going to bring you from that deconditioned point to a point of confidence and a point of strength. So that resistance training, in whatever form you can find, is really good. And it doesn't require a gym. You certainly can get more done in a gym if you know what you're doing, but you can get a whole lot done at home. You don't really need to be in a gym space. So that's where I think everyone should either start off, or if you're already a pretty fit person, you already have things that you like to do, just add that into your routine. If you run and cycle, or maybe you're a climber or whatever, you only stand to gain from having a more balanced fitness and adding in some resistance training. It's sort of like the one-stop shop for getting a good balanced fitness and a good healthy lifestyle. So even if it's just 20 or 30 minutes a couple times a week, that is going to benefit you a lot. And I want to start you off here on this channel. I'm going to be releasing a series of videos where I'm going to talk about the foundational concepts of fitness. So talking about core strength and balance and power and mobility, those kind of things, getting them all wrapped into a neat little package where there's a workout involved. You can feel what it's like to work those muscles, maybe get a first step toward establishing a good mind-muscle connection. And then from there, you can either look for other sources of information or you can keep engaging with my content. You can work with me one-on-one and I will help you to get started there. Those are my 3 things that I want you to watch out for getting in the way of your fitness. That's the athletic exceptionalism, aesthetic exceptionalism, and the gym. And keep in mind those positive, life-enhancing aspects of fitness that I mentioned in the beginning, all those things you have to gain from having a good fitness practice, and get on the resistance training in some way. I'm going to help you on this channel. If you want to see those videos coming out, hit the subscribe button for Positively Thriving. If you ever want to get in touch with me or my partner Natalie, the dietitian, you can leave a comment on our videos or go to us directly through our website, which I'll put in the description. It's positivelythriving.us, little contact form down at the bottom there. If you like the video, give a like right now. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.